Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by your local Ford dealers, by Resurgence Orthopedics, schedule online today, and by Racetrack, whatever gets you going. Light rain shower on and off here for the past couple of hours and falling now 70 degrees as we get ready for the Giants and the Braves, game one of this 3-game series. First-year manager Tony Vitello. The lineup that he is trotting out brought to you by Racetrack. It is a lineup that hits for average, but they have not had a ton of pop. 20th in homers. But again, they will hit for average, mainly because of Lee and, of course, Luis Arraez setting the table at the top. And out there in the rain with those long locks that are a little wet right now, Grant Holmes.
Looking more like a wrestler right now as the rain is coming down here for Grant Holmes. Couldn't get through 4 innings in his last one. I think that's kind of the point of focus right now going forward here with Grant Holmes. Second time through the order. 4th inning has been a little bit of an issue. If he can get past that, he can be in good shape here tonight against the Giants.
Well, that leads us to our Ford Keys. What do you have, sir?
Along the same lines, second to none. Let's keep an eye on Grant Holmes, second time through the order where the OPS has been up over 1,000. That has been a struggle for him. If he can get past that, again, I think we'll be in good shape here. Now, we all missed the Drake. We love the Drake, but we really missed the Drake, and he is back. I wrote down here, Baldy is back. I don't like calling him Baldy. It's weird. I'm not comfortable doing it. I know others do. What's most important, he's got the gear on, and that he is leading off here tonight.
Let's look at the rest of the Braves defense brought to you by Racetrack. Dubon, Harris, and the former Giant Mike Yastrzemski. Dubon also a former Giant. So is Dom Smith. There's a lot of connections between these two teams. Riley, Kim, Albies, and Olsen the infield. And as CJ mentioned, so good to have Drake Baldwin back behind the plate.
Let's play baseball. Let's play ball.
Jordan Baker, our home plate umpire. If you were with us about a month ago when he was the home plate umpire, we told you he's the tallest in Major League Baseball back there at 6'7".
And the way his strike zone has gone to left-handed hitters, he's called elevated pitches and in. Take that for what it's worth, but a little tight inside to the righties.
And Luis Arraez, first year with San Francisco, will lead things off. Braves have seen Arraez recently in Miami, then in San Diego, and now up the coast with the Giants. And we'll hope for the best with this weather, folks. It's just on and off showers. It's been that way pretty much the entire day here in Metro Atlanta.
Feels like the confidence is high, right? For those that are in charge of these types of things, we kind of look at the radar, look like we're on the edge. I don't think we start this game unless they believe that we're going to be okay. So hopefully this is going to taper off.
2 balls and 1 strike, but certainly not fun for Grant Holmes to be pitching with the rain falling. This is the 3rd time he has pitched here at home where the weather has kind of affected his start. And Arraez fouls it. He almost hit Shane Robinson down there, the first base coach.
What was it last game you were talking about? The 2 words that always kind of go together. Homage.
Oh, yeah, pay homage.
And I was thinking taper. Is there anything else but rain that we talk about for tapering
off?
It's pretty much only
That's
weather,
true,
right?
Yeah. It's just certain phrases and things that go together, like keys and
whatever.
Peas and carrots deep to left, and it gets over the glove of Dubon, who was playing shallow with the rise up there at the plate, and he's able to get it over his head for a leadoff double.
Well, you play him shallow because he is a slap hitter, does not drive the baseball very much, and certainly doesn't drive it, to the opposite field. And you can see Doobie there trying to make up for the ground a little bit harder, probably with the wet grass as well, and just out of his reach.
15th double of the season for Luis Arraez, who of course is so good hitting for average, and he gets a hit there. And now Bryce Eldridge at the plate.
And maybe the farthest ball that we've seen him hit to left field this year. Again, there's not a lot of power. If it's going to go out of the ballpark, it's always going to be to the pull side for Luis Arraez.
And that gets by Ozzie under the glove out to right field. Now Arraez is going to pump the brakes at third. And the runners are at the corners.
A little bit of a surprise there that they did not push harder. You're going to see Ozzie diving for this baseball. He deflected it, and so he slowed it down. And I thought that would have been enough for Luis Ariz. Even though he's not a great runner, as soon as you see this baseball change direction, there was an opportunity. Gary Pettis now was the third base coach for the San Francisco Giants. They had an in-season change over there at third. But he didn't like what he saw, and so he held Luis Ariz up.
So now Matt Chapman with nobody out. Yeah, the third base coach was Hector Borg, but they had a series of questionable sins from third base. So on May 29th, they made the change, and now a veteran over there in Gary Pettis. But it's been part of a tough start to the season and a tough start to Tony Vitello's run as the first-year skipper, as the Giants right now find themselves 14 games under at 29-43.
Part of it, there were a lot of slow starts, including this guy right here, Matt Chapman. He's been a lot better in the month of June. As you see Ron Washington there to your left and Tony Vitello's right. They've dug themselves a pretty big hole, and probably too big to get out of this season.
Yeah, but certainly they rely on this guy Matt Chapman. He is ahead in the count here, 3 balls and 1 strike. Lifted towards right. Yaz hustling over. He's got it. Ariz will not attempt to score. So there's the first out.
That's a big one, and not an easy one for Yaz, right? As he is running toward foul territory there, you're dealing with raindrops. It's a high fly ball. You get a little concerned about hitting the brakes and potentially slipping. He did it really well. And you also now keep that double play intact here as a possibility of a way to get out of this first and third and nobody out.
And the cleanup man, Rafael Devers, is the batter. It was a year ago yesterday that big surprise blockbuster trade happened, with him going from Boston to the San Francisco Giants. And 2 balls and no strikes. And for Devers, career low marks at the plate across the board for him. Another guy that they need to get going if they want to turn things around.
I think right now for Grant Holmes, you see all the marks there kind of on his right hip as he keeps kind of wiping his hand. No doubt that he is struggling here with grip a little bit. And even that cutter that stayed maybe a little bit further away than he wanted it to. The one prior to that staying outside and off the plate.
And the curve low, and now 3-1. Swing and a miss at the cutter, and it's a full count, 3-2. But the Giants have been patient here early. They've just offered 6 swings at the first 17 pitches so far for Holmes, and now Devers is going to step out. Payoff pitch with a runner going for second, and it pops out of the glove of Drake Baldwin, and the at-bat continues.
So Eldridge does not have a stolen base yet, right? That is about trying to stay out of the double play.
He doesn't go this time, but he will get to trot to second. It's a walk, and they are loaded. Early visit from Jeremy Hefner.
I don't think you can judge too much, right? This is more about, I think, some of the weather that you're dealing with, and we are starting to see not quite puddling there on the left side, but it's starting to build up a little bit on the left side, and it looks like maybe now they're going to have a bat boy bring the tongue depressors out, make sure that those spikes are staying clean. Nothing worse than when it starts to get clumpy out there and you get that clay that fills up your spikes. At that point, you just feel like you're on ice. Actually, it's going to be the rosin bag that they're bringing out, and as that one was sitting out there the entire time, it's probably almost become useless. Unless there wasn't one out there, I don't know.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, Jeremy Hefner took those off, and they get fresh ones.
They work great for cornhole too.
They do. They look exactly like bags. Yeah. All right. Well, precarious spot here for Holmes in the first. You got Jung-Hoo Lee at the plate now, with the bases juiced. See the weather even affecting Drake Baldwin as he's trying to squeeze that ball in his catcher's mitt. Off day yesterday for both teams, with the Giants traveling in from San Francisco. The Braves had the off day at home before beginning this 6-game stretch here at Truist Park.
So what you get with Lee is pretty good contact. 88% for him. That is a big number. And he's done a really nice job with runners in scoring position, which he has right now. 362. He's having a great month here in June.
Sends it out to deep center. Harris drifting back and turning around and grabbing it. But that will bring home the first run of the game here in the first inning. Well, if Holmes can get out of this with just one run, you'd certainly take it. Here's the shortstop, Willie Adames. Baldwin keeps it in front. Going for second is the rookie, or rather Devers, and Devers gets in there. So now the runners are at second and third, and making this even a more important at bat here to try to get Adames. You got Schmidt on deck now, and first base open.
Slider in the dirt here. Great job by Drake Baldwin as he squares it up. He's in that perfect position. He just kicked away enough to the left to allow Devers to advance.
Well, there's another one.
No getting around it right now. That Grant Holmes is fighting this. You can tell by where some of these breaking balls are ending up in the dirt for him.
He does find the strike zone there. 3-1. Yeah, he's fighting it. You got a high pitch count, 26 now for Holmes. Three-two. Holmes looking for one more strike to send us to the bottom of the first, and that will do it. A slider to strike out Adames and to keep the damage to a single run.
Tough start, but a great finish here for Grant Holmes to keep it at one and take advantage of Adames, who gets a little chasey.
Father's Day.
Track first at bat for Drake since May 18th when he had that oblique injury. And Adrian Hauser, the 33-year-old righty on the mound.
Some struggles for him this year. He's got a two-seam fastball, changeup, four-seamer, slider, curveball, all in the mix here. But you can see a 5.5 ERA over those 13 starts. And he has struggled against lefties. And even though the overall numbers against righties are respectable, lately, not so much. So really both sides have been an issue.
Well, welcome back, Drake Baldwin. A total of 23 games missed. The Braves went 14-9 without him ever since he left with that grade 1 right oblique strain in Miami on May 18th. But certainly you put him back in the lineup and it gives you a big boost.
Well, he had just the one rehab game. He had a home run in that game. Was supposed to play in one on Sunday. They ended up getting rained out. And not surprising, I saw Mark Bowman reporting on this. He basically was here taking a bunch of at-bats against the Trudek machine, which is almost like taking big league at-bats. Not quite the same, but you get a lot of different looks where you can replicate big league pitchers. He did that, and that got him ready.
And now he's ready for a 3-1 offering here from Hauser. Drake Baldwin to straightaway center field. Welcome back, young man.
Saw in the background Chris Sale laughing because it almost seems like a joke. It's that easy for Drake Baldwin to miss that much time playing one rehab game and say, I'm going Chattahoochee Falls right out of the chute.
I guess he's ready. That thing was absolutely demolished.
I mean, he actually cleared it, right? He went into the hedges beyond.
He went over Chattahoochee Falls. One rehab game, he hits a homer. Now a first game back in the bigs and his first at bat to straightaway center. Holy cow. So Baldwin now has 14 homers. So does this guy Michael Harris as he hits this one foul to left. More looks of that beauty from Drake Baldwin.
So loud off the bat, that beautiful left-handed level swing, right? Even in a count where he is ahead, doesn't get pull happy. Ball was a sinker, a little bit of run, and just take it out to deep center field.
And then Michael Harris follows it up with a hit out to right center.
Well, slider here to Michael that did not do very much. Looked like maybe it got a little bit off the barrel, but enough here for Michael, who just continues to swing a great bat. There's some talk about what is the best way to go here, right? Drake 1 or Michael 2, and you look at kind of both of these guys with Ronald out. Neither one of the numbers really stick out, but I think clearly Walt made the right choice, and Drake had been a little bit better in the leadoff spot than Michael had been.
And you talked about it with Hauser, but his struggles against lefties, I mean, they're hitting .335 against him. And the first two lefties go long homer and now a single, and now he has to face Matt Olson.
You get excited when you see those kinds of numbers for the Braves because of how much they can stack those lefties against the right-handed pitcher, right? That means that Yaz is going to be in the lineup. It means Dom Smith is going to be in the lineup, and I know Ozzy's better against the lefties generally, but still it's that look that you don't want a guy to have, or you do want him to have, that is struggling so badly against left-handed hitters.
And he hasn't made it 5 innings in any of his last 4 starts. It's been a tough year for Adrian Hauser. First year with the Giants, but he's been with 7 different organizations over the last 3 seasons. And he does use the changeup there to get Matt Olson. Racetrack defense for the Giants with Schmidt, Gilbert, Jung-Hoo Lee in right. Chapman, Adames, Arise, Devers, and then Daniel Susac is the catcher.
Not a very good defense here in San Francisco. 48 errors. That's 28th in baseball. Outs above average at -12 is 23rd.
And Adames has really struggled at short.
Which he kind of has, right? There was some talk when they signed him whether or not he was going to survive long term here as a shortstop. And outs above average will throw that number out there. It's a Statcast defensive number. It's not perfect, but he's at a -14 when the entire team's at -12, to give you an idea of how much he's been weighing down the defense.
High into the raindrops. Out to Gilbert. So 2 away.
Number 8, Dominic Smith.
The lefty parade continues with the DH Dom Smith. Played 63 games for the Giants last year. So 3 of the next 4 Braves hitters are former Giants. Dubon and then Yastrzemski hitting 8th. Of course, spent the longest time with the Giants, 6.5 seasons. Up and in.
So we'll see here after the first 2 batters. Drake Baldwin hit a fastball. Michael Harris hit a slider. He was able to get Matt Olson. He was able to get Ozzie on the changeup. You look at the changeup, the batting average nearly 300 for lefties, but the exit velocity is pretty low, right? So it's probably more about some weak contact hits that he has had. So we may see some more of that changeup now from Hauser.
Still that heavy mist, light rain shower that's been with us for the past 30 minutes or so. And Dom Smith will take his base. The changeup misses.
Number 14, Mauricio Dubon.
So a chance for Dubon as Hauser finally gets to face somebody from the right side of the plate. Dubon debuted with the Giants in 2019, was with them until he was traded to the Astros in the 2022 season.
And they are giving Mauricio Dubon a lot of that left field gap. Gilbert is playing about as shaded, I think, as you would see a center fielder toward right field. Look at that against a right-handed hitter. You don't see it that much. There's not a lot of confidence that Mauricio Dubon can fill that gap. But if he does, that ball's going to go for a while.
He shoots it out to right, and it will fall anyway. Harris is coming home, and the Braves have taken the lead just like that. What a great response after a tough top of the first.
And another great at bat from Mauricio Dubon. It's going to be the 2-seam fastball that he gets. It looks like they wanted that further in. He leaves that out over the plate. And so many times now that we have seen this as we get to know Mauricio Dubon is let it travel a little bit, take the ball the other way. Even a decent fastball like that, not a very good throw at all. Not sure would have made a difference anyway as far as going first to third there for Dom, but it worked out well for the Braves.
At the corners for Austin Riley, hitting 7th today. Austin
Riley has faced Adrian Hauser. You can see these numbers quite a bit
That 8 for 19, got a home run against him as well. That home run came back in 2023 on a sinker.
Hauser lost that game where Riley homered in 2023. He has never defeated the Braves. 0-5 in 8 appearances, 6 starts. Hoping to make that 0-6 today. Long first innings for both pitchers. You had Holmes over 25 pitches, and now Hauser approaching 30. Swing and a miss for Riley to end it, but the Braves take the lead, and Drake Baldwin, what a bomb.
Welcome back, Drake Baldwin. What a return as he goes dead central for another Baldwin bomb. And the grounds crew right now out working, especially there on the left side of the infield. We started to notice it, that not quite puddling, but building up a little bit, and this heavy mist and then some just has not quite gone away.
On Thursday, could be pretty tough here in Atlanta. There's a tropical storm that's forming in the Gulf and supposed to produce several inches of rain in the afternoon Thursday on into Friday morning. So we'll hope for the best during this homestand against the Giants, and then 3 against the Brewers starting Friday. Well, a development, Michael Harris is out of the game. Eli White has come in and he is out in left, and Dubon has moved over to center. You know, with the weather, and Michael obviously has had some lower leg issues this year. You wonder if maybe, total speculation, he was impacted running the bases.
Maybe. We will see, right? Obviously he ends up scoring in the first inning and running pretty hard to do it, and if he felt something or we didn't see anything, we didn't see a reaction, but either way, that's what we got right now with Eli White in this game.
Well, that's not the news we wanted to report.
No.
Of course, when we get more, we'll pass it along to you. Right now, bottom 3 for the Giants, starting with Schmidt. And we'll see if Grant can get a tidier, quicker second inning here after that long first, but a good job by him to only give up that 1 run.
When you look at Schmidt and anybody else in their helmet and see how much water is on there, it's me thinking about how tough it might be to grip the baseball again right now. It's a lot of water on that helmet.
At 1-2.
Also super annoyed. I just realized as I looked down, I got autocorrect on my scorecard where it did the DT for Schmidt.
Yeah, he doesn't spell it that way.
No, it's double T.
Double T.
That's very annoying.
And Schmidt with 2 T's is going to go up the middle for a leadoff single. All right, our crew has gone back and looked at Michael Harris running the bases. We're going to show you and see if we can pick anything up here.
I certainly went really hard. You're going to see him get to home pretty easily. Like he slipped or anything hitting home plate. Like he's feeling pretty good right there. I mean, I almost find that encouraging, right? Not grabbing anything,
right.
Didn't see any facial expression that told you he was hurt. Hopefully he didn't slip on the stairs on the way down into the dugout.
And maybe it's just, hey, I felt something ever so slightly, and Walt said, look, it's raining. we're in a great spot at 46 and 25. Why don't we be cautious and have you sit the rest of the ball game out? Meanwhile, 0-2 here to Drew Gilbert, who's going to call time. Drew Gilbert had a brief stay in the bigs last year, 39 games. Started this year in AAA and then was called up in the middle of April when Harrison Bader went on the injured list.
And he played for Vitello, right, at Tennessee? Is he the only one on the roster? I don't
Yes.
even know. And I'm hearing that story. It's got to be a little odd.
And Tony Vitello, last 8 seasons, is the Tennessee Vols head coach. First time ever that a guy has jumped straight from the college ranks without any pro experience to being a big league manager.
It's a lot of risk involved. Clearly for Buster Posey, he felt like it was the right move for this team, and he inherited a team that was expecting to contend. Hasn't gone particularly well. Better than a $200 million payroll, but it's been a slow start here. It's not certainly all on Tony Vitello.
I mean, the first month, the offense just did not produce anything.
Yeah, it's never going to be a manager thing as we take a look at Buster Posey.
Bob Melvin the last couple of years, but they opted to move on.
This is a really expensive year as far as their line goes for their manager, because you have a salary that seems somewhere a little bit north of $3 million. There was a $3 million buyout to the University of Tennessee, and Bob Melvin's $4 million salary. So the line item for manager this year is about $10 million for the San Francisco Giants. That'll go down considerably next year, but it's a big one this year.
Well, there's a Vols fan. Brought the poncho. You want to challenge this? Doesn't look like they will. That might have caught the bottom of the zone, but instead of walk.
I'm with you. Yeah, it looks like it would have. It's a tough call, but we talk about leverage spots. Probably a leverage spot there, right? Difference between the strikeout and the walk with nobody out. Team will bunt a little bit. We'll see here with Susak's having a good year average wise. 11 sack bunts on the season. There he goes.
Right on cue. But that one hit him in the batter's box before it went out there, so it is foul. He's a rookie, Susak.
It's doubly a good idea, in my opinion, because of the weather. Right? Think about going after a bunt right now as a fielder, whether it's Austin Riley over at third or if it's going to be Grant Holmes trying to run hard and plant a back foot and make a throw. It's a risky proposition.
He will try again. This one he pops in the air, back foul and out of play. The Giants had the very talented two-time Gold Glover Patrick Bailey as their catcher to start the season. They traded him to Cleveland in early May, and that opened a spot here for Susak, who goes down on strikes after chasing the slider.
It's a good job by Grant Holmes. Take advantage, right? You're down because you didn't get the bunt down in 2 tries, and then you're trying to make something happen, and you go fishing pretty badly here after the Grant Holmes slider, which we know is a really good swing and miss pitch for him, but that was not a good at bat.
Back to the top. 0-1 to Arise. And yet again, he has the lowest strikeout rate in Major League Baseball, does the Giants' second baseman. That one almost hit him.
He is such an oddity. If you go look at things like his baseball savant page, they do all these kind of rankings, and it's all over the place. Like, some of the stuff is amazing, and then they'll say other things are really bad. Like his barrel percentage is at the 1%, but batting average things are expected batting average, sweet spot stuff, whiff rates, like they're all 95 to 100. His bat speed, absurdly slow, one of the slowest in all of Major League Baseball, which I think it's a good reminder. Don't get too caught up in it. This guy's won multiple batting titles with the lowest bat speed in baseball.
Yeah, he's just a hitter.
Whiff and K percentage are in the 100th percentile.
Yeah, he sets the tone.
And it's been weird and interesting for him to try to find his value in the market.
There he is, taking a 1-2 pitch out to left for a hit. White bobbled it, but they had already made the decision to hold Casey Schmidt. Bases loaded, 1 out.
A cautionary tale there, right? Eli White, as he goes after this baseball, and things are going to skip here with the outfield taking on the kind of water that they have. But there's a good example of what a great contact hitter Luis Arraez is. That is a slider that is below the zone. It's a great strikeout pitch usually for Grant Holmes, but we know, of course, trying to strike out and get swing and miss against Luis Arraez is very difficult.
So Eldridge bounces it to the dugout. Braves have Bryce Elder, and the Giants have Bryce Eldridge, the 6'7", 21-year-old rookie. You can see by the numbers there at the bottom. Off to a good start in his rookie campaign.
That little bit of time that he had last year, there were some struggles. Low batting average. You know, there's a lot of swing and miss in there. But the chase is respectable.
We should make home plate umpire Jordan Baker and hitter Bryce Eldridge go back to back, because they're both listed at 6'7", but Baker looks taller to me.
Might have the bigger shoes on right now, right? Looking for a little bit more at 6'7". Got his umpire boots on maybe in a night like tonight.
He might. A little extra grip back there. There's a challenge.
Batter's challenging the call strike.
This might be a good one.
Yeah, that looked low.
Call's overturned. Pitches the ball.
Hope they unwrapped a lot of baseballs, because pretty much everyone is getting thrown out. (3-2) now. Obviously nowhere to put Eldridge. Payoff pitch, and it bounces in the dirt, and the ball game is tied at 2.
Slider here from Grant Holmes, and I've kind of noted it. I think definitely a lot of this has to do with the weather, but trying to get a feel for this pitch with some consistency has been a challenge, and now it looks like the umpires are coming out here to give Grant Holmes a break, or at least maybe changing out that rosin once again. Once that rosin bag starts to get wet, it can get really hard, becomes pretty much useless. We're also going to check the landing area as well, but sounds like Grant Holmes says it's okay.
Yeah, would that have been a courtesy visit from Jordan Baker saying, hey, are you okay out here? Is the mound all right?
I don't know if Grant Holmes had already asked for a new rosin bag, but something happened that caught their attention. That's ultimately what they ended up doing, and while he was out there, he went ahead and checked the mound as well.
Lined out to center. Dubon with a diving grab. It will score a run, but a great play, especially considering these conditions right now.
Yeah, this is not an easy play at all here for Mauricio Dubon as he started the game in left. Now he's in center and trying to get a beat on and making that decision. A little harder probably to read the speed when you're dealing with this steady rain. How well you can see that baseball. Did it have top spin or not? But he stays on it very well and makes an excellent play.
So it was low back tightness for Michael Harris. That's the reason that he was removed from the game. Remember, that's something that had been bothering him last week as well. So the Braves being cautious with that low back tightness and taking Harris out. That's why Dubon is now in center and you've got White out in left.
An easy decision too on a night like tonight, right? Even if it's the slightest thing, as you mentioned with Michael, with this weather and trying to battle it.
Kim behind the bag will make the play, but a couple of runs for the Giants. Seesaw battle early here in Atlanta tonight. Almost 2 here at Truist Park. Last night suspended in the bottom of the second inning, but the sun is shining. The boys are out and ready to rock and roll. It is 3-2 Giants when we resume play with Yastrzemski at the plate. Now, in case you missed all the action last night, and there was a lot of action, well, what stole the show, unfortunately, was the weather and the rain that just would not let up. Grant Holmes through a couple of innings where he was soaked, gave up a few runs. Drake Baldwin, though, his first swing back from that injury, 473-foot homer. Dubon got into the act offensively and defensively. Birdie got into the act as they tried to keep that field as dry as possible. But ultimately, the rain proved to be a little too much. So now we have almost 2 games today. Brandon Gunn, CJ Nitkowski back with you. So interesting how last night played out, but hopefully the boys can get a couple of wins today.
Yeah, it would be nice, right? It was a mess last night and what we saw, and now an opportunity, and I think a very smart move by the San Francisco Giants as Robbie Ray is going to take the mound. You think about how the lineup was set up last night for the Braves. A lot of the lefties were in there. Robbie Ray is a lefty, and so I think instead of him starting tonight's game, they'll have him take on a lineup that wasn't designed for him to face. So pretty smart move on their part.
And the Braves will pick it up in the bullpen with James Karinchak.
Yeah, I think that'll probably be the case. So, of course, being a reliever, he's likely not going to start warming up until Robbie Ray is actually out there, right? When you get these kind of awkward situations as a relief pitcher, you really don't want to change too much. So a little bit of pacing there in the bullpen for James Karinchak, but I guess we're not going to see him throwing until this thing gets underway.
An uncharacteristic 2 o'clock start. We're just a few minutes away. We'll have the lineups and first pitch when we get back. Braves baseball is brought to you by Georgia Power. Score big savings at georgiapower.com/tips. By Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealers today. And by the Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card. Earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases. Terms apply. It was a great crowd last night. Everybody that had a ticket to that game can get in today, but understandably with a 2 o'clock start, bit of a lighter crowd here at Truist Park for the finish of game 1 of this 3-game series between the Braves and the Giants. So Yastrzemski will be the first hitter to come to the plate in the bottom of the second, and Robbie Ray, 14 starts, but technically today, CJ, he comes out of the bullpen.
And only 4 relief appearances in his career. The last one came all the way back in 2020 when he was pitching for the Toronto Blue Jays. But again, this is a really good idea, I think, by the San Francisco Giants, because now the Braves can't pick the lineup they want to have against Robbie Ray. It was set for a righty. Now they have to deal with a lefty from the second inning on. Of course, Michael Harris is not in the game because of what happened with his back, but that means Eli White now is in that 2-hole.
And Yastrzemski is the 8th batter in the order, but this will be his first at bat here against his former team in this series.
And for what it's worth, left-handed hitters have done a pretty good job against Robbie Ray this year. .270 batting average, but of the 14 home runs that he has allowed, only 1 to a left-handed hitter.
Certainly different weather from a night ago.
It's beautiful right now.
83 degrees. There's a breeze. Very pleasant here at the ballpark.
Let's play 3 because we're worried about tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow night is looking dicey at best with the tropical storm that will approach around noon tomorrow. All right, so Mike Yastrzemski, the longtime Giant, 6.5 seasons with San Francisco, will be the first to face Ray here on this Wednesday afternoon. And Robbie Ray starts with a strike. Same home plate umpires last night, and Jordan Baker, the crew chief, back there.
You mentioned it. Much smaller crowd, which means you get to hear Robbie Ray grunt every single pitch that he is going to throw, and you're going to hear it well.
It is his signature, and you're right. Without the crowd today, you will hear every grunt from the lefty.
And we don't even have a parabolic mic here, I don't think. Do we? I don't know.
I'm sure we do.
I mean, if you can hear those spikes walking in the dirt, and I do like that sound, you're going to get a lot of Robbie Ray. By the way, we do have 2 parabolic mics. Of course we do. This is Braves Vision.
Yeah, we're loaded. There's a slider, a ball and 2 strikes.
It almost has a tennis match feel. Right, think about when you get grunters in tennis. It's quiet enough. Just
but just the one grunter in Robbie Ray. His former skipper from the last couple of years, Bob Melvin, they asked him about it. He said, I bet he grunts in his sleep because they just hear it so much. A check down. He did not offer.
There are going to be no secrets today. Listening to umpires, you can hear everything they're saying. Careful.
There's Holmes. He started the game last night, a couple of innings, but really had trouble with a plant foot, the wet baseball, and did give up a few runs before the rain stopped play.
Feel bad for Grant Holmes, right? I think he was looking to have a good outing, trying to get deeper in the game. He had a lot thrown at him. That was a tough spot to be in. I think everyone thought that rain was going to pass. Clearly it did not. He battled it, never complained, but those were not easy circumstances last night.
And as we said, for Grant, it's the 3rd time this year here at Truist Park that he has had a start disrupted by rain. So he's just kind of been in the wrong place at the wrong time. Foul. Look out over there, Antoine Richardson. He's able to get out of the way. Talked yesterday about how there's so many ties between these 2 ball clubs and guys that have switched. Antoine Richardson also had a couple of seasons with the Giants as a base coach. And Yastrzemski, the former Giant, takes a slider for a strike, and he will head back to the dugout.
That was a good battle, but unfortunately one that Robbie Ray won in the end. Is you're going to see that slider catch a good amount of the plate. Now the one thing with Robbie Ray as well is he has not pitched well lately, and he's not gotten deep in games. You look at his last 6 outings, 6 starts, only once has he thrown more than 5 innings. He's had an issue being efficient.
Well, pitch count was certainly a discussion last night. There were 84 pitches with just 9 outs recorded yesterday. And now today starts with an 8-pitch at bat to Yastrzemski. And a 2-0 count to Hassan Kim. And a day like today, no batting practice for either team. It's what they term a show and go. So everybody getting to the park a little bit later, knowing that it's going to be a long day here at Truist.
And when you say everybody, you mean everybody. Darren Day walked in like 20 minutes before first pitch. I was concerned that I got here about 55 minutes before first pitch, and there was nobody in here.
Yeah, they didn't open the gates until 1:30.
Yeah.
So it was really strange being that close to resuming the game, and there was nobody in the ballpark. But CJ brought us a bunch of his freshly baked bread from home, so we're loaded on carbs. Kim Late, 93, beat him to the spot. It's time for a Whataburger What a Play. If you missed it last night, Baldwin and his return, 473 feet to center.
You felt like this might be coming for Drake Baldwin. I don't know we expected it to be this incredible and dramatic, and a no-doubter there that went over Chattahoochee Falls. What'd you say, 473? Yikes.
Longest homer in Major League Baseball this season. A little bit different this time as he bounces to a rise, and off to the third we go.
Chevy.
So for the Braves, James Karinchak will come in here in the third inning, even though it's the first inning played today. Third game as a Brave, 2 scoreless innings so far.
Yeah, he's looked good. The velocity has been good, sitting at 95 miles an hour. The vert on the fastball, he throws it at the top of the zone and above intentionally. It's been really good. And then it's the curveball that he has to go with it. Remember, this guy was one of the better strikeout pitchers coming out of a bullpen for a while in Cleveland. A couple years off from the big leagues, but so far so good. His stuff looks to be back.
So the bullpen obviously will be taxed here in game 1. But remember, for game 2, both clubs get to add that additional 27th player. We don't know who that is going to be for Atlanta, but that should help as far as a fresh arm is concerned. Because it's not easy when you have a situation like this.
No, and I think with this game being as close as it is here early on, if it stays like that, we could see kind of some of the one-inning guys. Maybe one and change before, there might have been the thought that would it be a Carrasco, would it be Lopez? Do you try to get a long guy in there? But this is a tight game right now, and I think for Walt, he's going to play it to try to win it.
Jung-Hoo Lee brought in a run in the first inning last night. 2-1.
It looks like we already have action in the Braves bullpen. Is that Dylan Dodd warming up? And so again, Walt's going to try to keep this game close from the very beginning, even though it's only the third here with the bullpen. So Gilbert is due fourth, left-handed hitter. I'm guessing that's probably the play here.
Lee skies it. Kim backing up, and he will take it for the first out in the third. Now Willie Adames. Talked about Adames last night. Of course, that big contract, 7 years, over $180 million. Last year he did have 30 homers. This year 11 homers, but he's got a career low 692 OPS coming into this series. And we talked about some of the defensive struggles for him as well. It's been a bit of an adventure.
Even at the time when they signed the contract, it seemed a little bit aggressive. If you remember, there were shortstops that were available. They started falling off the board. The Giants could not find their guy. Adames was kind of one of the few that were left, and so they got aggressive on that deal. And there's been some rumblings about how they kind of like to get out from under that contract. I don't know if they're necessarily going to find a suitor. It's not looking like a great one right now.
By the dollar amount, biggest contract in franchise history when he signed that heading into last year.
There's 5 more years left on it, and I say only, but he's only making $13 million this year, and then it jumps up to 31 and change each year for the next 5 years. As you take a look at Buster Posey, president of baseball operations here with the Giants.
He does have pop in that bat, but not enough here. Routine fly to Yaz.
The other thing Walt may be thinking here with Dodd up to potentially face Gilbert, who is on deck, is maybe with some of the, call them the B arms, but still good arms in the Braves bullpen, keeping those pitch counts down so guys would be available for tonight, right? I think there'll probably be a pitcher or two that get stretched out, but early on he may keep it short for guys he'd like to have available tonight.
I'm sure it's different for different guys, CJ, but what's kind of the magic number there? 20 pitches?
20's pushing it, I think, a little bit as far as the safety concerns, or just we're more conservative than ever, right, with pitch count. So I think if you get over 15, then that may continue to go with you, knowing that they may not feel comfortable using you again later today. Now, I think with a guy like James Karinchak, right, he's on the comeback trail. He's going to tell Walt he could throw 25 pitches and he'll be like, I'm fine for tonight.
He's thrown 12 so far. Schmidt grounder, it stays fair. Riley sidearm throw, and Karinchak sets him down in order. Flash flood, but let's tell you about a flash sale right now. Braves.TV offering a limited time deal. The season pass now under $50, $49.99 for the rest of the season. Lock in this special before June 21st at midnight so you can watch the Red Hot Braves all season long. Eli White's going to foul this into the seats. Remember, he is taking the place of Michael Harris, who left the game yesterday with that low back tightness, something that first flared up for Michael on June 5th against the Pirates, and he was out of the lineup the next couple of days after that. So we'll see how he feels, but hopefully it is not a long absence for Harris.
And Eli has seen Robbie Ray a few times over the course of his career. Now, he hasn't faced him since 2022, but his last 3 plate appearances, double walk. 1 for 3 overall in those 5 plate appearances for Eli.
And Eli gives this a ride. Right there in front of the track is Gilbert. Matty O to the plate. He struck out swinging in the first last night against Hauser. We're talking about the bullpen and Walt Weiss, CJ. I also wonder, too, now there's no announcement about tomorrow's game being canceled, so I want to make that clear, but he's seen the forecast. I wonder if maybe he's a little bit more aggressive today than maybe he normally would be.
That's a good point, and I think it's okay to take those chances. Again, if you have a chance and you feel like you can win a game, you'll go for it. With that in the back of your mind, would you be even more aggressive, say having Iggy throw more than an inning, or Robert Suarez, Dylan Lee? Maybe, yes. I think it's fair.
Yeah, so it could turn out to be an off day tomorrow before the Brewers come to town on Friday. One thing I didn't account for with your amazing jalapeno cheddar bread that you brought us is that I feel like I've got a jalapeno stuff in my esophagus right now.
Well, the only way to get it out is to throw another slice down. It'll take care of it. Just ride it right into your stomach.
I'm just pounding this water, but man, that was good. 2-2 here to Matt Olson. Tell you what, Robbie Ray does not skip arm day.
No.
Got some of the bigger guns you'll see for a pitcher in Major League Baseball. 34-year-old lefty. Of course, he had that incredible 21 season where he was a Cy Young winner with the Blue Jays. Fouled off by Olsen, still 3-2.
A lot of talk at that time, if you remember, right? Because he became a free agent, I believe, afterwards, and the Blue Jays really didn't push. They brought in Kevin Gausman instead. We saw Robbie Ray go to the Seattle Mariners, and it's kind of looking at those two side by side since then. And unfortunately for Robbie Ray, he's missed a pretty good amount of time. Kevin Gausman really is not.
Yeah, he's going to walk Olsen here with 1 out. Ozzie to the plate. Our Coors Banquet Start Your Legacy feature spotlights Mr. Ozzie Albies today, looking at his last 15 games.
It's a handful of Braves that have been on a really good run. Ozzie has been one of those as you take a look at the numbers going into the game. I guess we'll call it today or yesterday. Their OPS had been 28th in baseball here in the month of June, but there have been a couple like Ozzie who have not slowed down at all. And Ozzie has faced Robbie Ray the most of all these active Braves, but he hasn't seen him since 2021. So it's been 5 years.
Wow, so it was that Cy Young season with Toronto last time Ozzie faced him.
He took him deep up in Toronto too, against the 97-mile-an-hour fastball. No, I don't think we're going to see that. Say that, a decent fastball, but I don't know if we're going to see many of those here today. He's only sitting these days now about 93, but he's been through some injuries.
Yeah, that Tommy John surgery that he had was in 23. He came to the Giants off of that Tommy John surgery, and he did not debut with them until the end of July of 24. But he has been healthy since. He's having trouble locating here, though, in the third.
No.
Whoa.
Challenge.
Challenge, Ozzie.
Oh, he knew.
Yeah, that was pretty far up. That missed by a good amount. Of course, easy for us when we can see the box.
And you're not allowed to yell challenge from the dugout either.
And we can't yell from up here in the booth.
Although a day like today, he might even hear us in our normal tone. We can't get in trouble for that, can we?
Ray worried about the lightning speed of Matt Olson over there. Devers, the former third baseman turned first baseman, holding him on. And this is towards Devers. And he's got it. That's tough for Ozzie Albies.
Yeah, frustrating at bat knowing he probably had the 4-pitch walk, decides not to challenge it there. And there's also this kind of thing that has always existed, right, where this automatic 3-0, anything close had always been called a strike, but you felt like ABS would start to eliminate that. So it was a little bit surprising to even see Jordan Baker make the call. He's had a respectable year.
Dom Smith walked in the first inning yesterday. Sounded like a broken bat. And a routine fly to lead. Nothing for the Braves in the third. Is really relying on that bullpen today, and boy has it been good. And leads us to our Defend the Mound feature presented by Comcast Business. The best ERA in baseball for that Braves pen.
So a couple of things. One, of course, they had a great offseason and bringing Iggy back and getting Robert Suarez to come here. And then it's been now the kind of evolution of Didier Fuentes and what he has meant to this bullpen. We know, of course, Dylan Lee has already been on the track of being an excellent reliever, and even though he's on the IL right now, Tyler Kinley as well. It's been a really good group. It runs deep, and Dylan Dodd has done a very nice job. We've talked about it, establishing himself as the second go-to lefty.
Jordan Baker giving that high strike so far here today.
Jordan Baker's probably got what, almost a full foot on Drew Gilbert.
Let's see how tall Mr. Gilbert is.
5'9". Yeah, he's listed at 5'9", which now is a little bit more accurate, right, than it used to be.
Jordan Baker 6'7" back there. Man, it looks like he's got a foot on him from that vantage point. And a 2-2 95-mile-per-hour sinker takes care of Drew Gilbert.
And discovering what this fastball is all about for Dylan Dodd has been huge, right? It'll register as a sinker. You can see it as a two-seam fastball. What you don't see is any sink, right? That ball kind of stays a little bit more true. It's got four-seam type of life to it. I mean, that's 17 inches of induced vertical break, right on the heater. You don't want that on a two-seamer. You'll take it on a four-seamer all day long. So it is a weapon in disguise for Dylan Dodd.
And it works to perfection. Now the bottom of the order, and the catcher Susak. Dodd, former third-round pick. I remember so vividly when he debuted in St. Louis in 2023. Started that year, there were some questions about the back end of the Braves rotation and health. Couple of starts went okay, but not great. Goes back down to AAA. Didn't know when we would see Dylan Dodd again. Last year kind of reinvents himself as a reliever, and boy, has he become a weapon for Atlanta.
And one of the few in baseball when you see him there on the mound that actually stands right dead center on the pitching rubber, right? Everyone's always looking for an advantage by kind of picking an extreme, but you're going to watch Dylan Dodd kind of old schooling it right there. Just get in the middle of it.
Where did you spend most of your career?
Middle, but I kind of wish I was a little bit more toward the first base side. Maybe cheated a little bit that way, but trying to take advantage again. Remember, back then it was lefty specialist was still a real thing, which is mostly what I did. So just to create the advantages you could against lefties, that was the most important thing.
Yeah, no three-batter minimum back then.
You don't want to get overexposed. And it will be interesting to see what Walt does here. Mentioned it's kind of like either real short or push a little bit and get long. And remember earlier this year, Dylan Dodd had 2 outings where he went 3 innings. I think the way this lineup is set up, and again, you don't just look at him as a lefty guy. He's very good against righties. But 4 of the next 5 are left-handed.
Susak lines it out to left, but there is Eli White, 2 down. Now Luis Ariz, who last night did Luis Ariz things, a double and a single. This guy can hit with the best of them.
And even though he hit that ball over Mauricio Dubon's head, who started the game in left field last night, the Braves have not changed their strategy. Eli White is playing somewhat shallow. Mauricio now in center with Michael Harris leaving the game last night, also shallow.
And it's hit very shallow, right back to the pitcher. Good start for the Braves pen today. 6 up, 6 down. Two Gold Gloves, but he's never played in the Midsummer Classic. Let's change that this year. Braves.com/vote to get Dubon and the rest of the Braves to Philadelphia. RBI hit in the first inning last night for Dubon. This one is going to go foul. So he is an impact player, no doubt, and that impact player is brought to you as always by Georgia Natural Gas as we look at the last 11 here for Mauricio.
How about swinging it really well? The RBIs jump out, certainly 9 of those over the 11 games. Something Dubon has done extremely well this season, has gotten to the fastball. And he's going to get a decent amount here from Robbie Ray. 2 different kinds. the two-seamer and the four-seamer. And with Robbie Ray, you do get really nice jump on the fastball at the top of the zone. You look at lefty starters around the league, and he actually has the second highest induced vertical break among those lefty starters. So he will try to use that four-seamer up high. You don't see a lot of necessarily movement on the sinker, similar to what we saw with Dylan Dodd, but he throws both of those fastballs with some regularity.
There's the changeup. Added that last year. Learned it from Tarek Skubal.
That's a good one to talk to a changeup about. To pair with his 98-99, he's got one of the best in the game.
He throws the changeup again. High lazy fly to Lee. So the story goes for Robbie Ray that after watching Skubal dominate in the 24 postseason with that changeup, he had his former teammate Matt Boyd, who knows both of them, connect them. And he basically came right out via text and said, look, Tarek, if you'd be okay talking to me about your changeup, I would love to try to duplicate it. And he said Tarek was great. He sent him pictures of him holding the ball, sent him videos of him throwing that pitch in slow motion, and was really an open book. And so that's the pitch now that Robbie Ray is trying to throw here himself over the last 2 seasons.
Interesting conversation, right? The idea that he would ask, do you think it's okay? Now, if he is pitching for the Cleveland Guardians, maybe not, right? Where you have a team in your division, a starter that you're contending with, the last thing you want to happen is a guy comes up with this great changeup and sets your team down during the regular season. I think, you know, out of the division, a team you're only going to see for 3 games a year. And not that you wouldn't anyway, but they're, you know, less pause, I think, in that spot as far as helping a guy out. It is a fraternity at the end of the day. We know guys are changing teams all the time.
Playing up the middle, Luis Arraez takes one away from Riley. Well, and then so Skubal texted back after giving him all the information, said, you mind telling me about your slider? So, although Skubal says he hasn't really adopted how Ray throws the slider, but he was curious about that pitch. He's tinkered with it a little bit. So there was a little bit of back and forth there.
Yeah, and listen, you get the information now, or you say someday I'm going to come to you and ask you for a favor. Make sure you're ready. Godfather style.
Another high strike here. That one was up, but called a strike by Jordan Baker. Well, you said Godfather. Now I want a cannoli to go along with the bread that you brought. See,
but then we're going to have to hear from Birdie about how American cannolis just don't stack up to what he had in Italy.
Birdie back there.
I mean, how many cannolis with espresso did Birdie have over those couple of weeks? Dozen?
I hope. I'd be disappointed if he did not do that.
What's up, guys?
Hey, you also brought us such a cool gift today, Birdie. Pocket espressos.
Yes.
I'd never seen that before.
Well, and I know you have an espresso machine up top, but this is just in case of emergency.
Yeah, I think I'm going to save this one for the road.
Yeah, there you go. A little chocolate in there.
Called strike. That one looked like it did hit the zone. Still 3-2 after 4. Word for our Active Mic presented by the Active Cash Card.
You got it, BG. I talked a lot yesterday about Matt Olson. Why would I stop today? Well, what's the story? There is a Buddha statue in his locker. I thought it was for good luck. Maybe he rubbed the belly before the game. But no, and this is his words. He said, Paul, when I was born, I was really fat. I was a porker. And my mom, Lee, called me the name Buddha for years, and she's never stopped. So it's a shout out to his mother. It's an affectionate term. And let's get this guy to the All-Star game because he's the All-American guy who loves his mom.
Let's get the porker to Philly.
Yeah.
Braves.com/vote.
Oh, BG, you're on to something.
That is funny.
It is really funny. That's a great statue. That's a happy Buddha right there. So enjoying every moment like the way Matt Olson does. He deserves to be there. I think it's pretty simple as far as Matt Olson, but we got to make sure we get behind him and get those votes in.
His mom, Lee, Told the story last year. Sorry, I'm eating blueberries. Speaking of Porker, she will sometimes make Rice Krispie treats and bring them to the clubhouse. So she's like the team mom.
It's always nice. And we did just get our little fruit plate, which we know Birdie would not participate in because we have American melon. And he is so highbrow with his Italian melon.
I'll come down. Give me a couple days. BG, are those blueberries as good as they are in Italy?
Well, I've never been there, so I got to go off you, Birdie. But look, Chef Jocko makes sure that we're taken care of up here, even when he's sick today. So they're fantastic by me.
Oh, coming in hot.
That did come in hot.
We don't get well soon there, Chef Jocko.
Yeah,
dealing with a little flu right now.
I will say this: they don't have the Chef Jocko hot dogs over in Italy that we have here at Truist Park. I know that.
Stabbed at it, eye off the ball.
I'm not going to give him an air, though, because of the pace.
Well, that, and you're also backed up against the wall, so you can't really create the hop that is best suited for you. You are playing a little bit more defense.
Matt Chapman fouls it back. He has been on fire in the month of June, hitting over 406 homers, 20 runs driven in 13 games this month for Matt Chapman.
Yeah, they've needed to see it. I think that was a big one for the San Francisco Giants. The struggles he had early, went through a pretty bad rut, but now he looks like he's coming out of it.
High fly out towards Eli White, battling the sun, making the catch. Well, after all the action offensively yesterday in the rain, with good weather today, the pitchers have been the story so far.
Yeah, feeling very day game like, right? Especially after a long night, you're sitting around, you're kind of waiting. You know you have two today. And it clearly has been advantage pitcher. Not something that Robbie Ray has been used to lately. Over his last 4 starts, the Giants have scored 56 runs. I think they had an 18 and a 17 run game in there, if I'm not mistaken. He's been the beneficiary of a lot of runs. How many wins does he have in those 4 starts? 1.
Well, he had one blow up start in May where he gave up 10 runs. Very uncharacteristic for Robbie Ray.
Yeah, 11, 18, 19, and 8. That's the last 4 games.
Devers crushes this toward the gap. And it is a solo shot for Rafael Devers, his 10th of the season, to make it 4-2.
So with Devers, you get a pretty good level swing. We told you about the characteristics of this fastball where it has ride to it. He threw it exactly where he wanted to, which is elevated at the top or maybe even slightly above the zone. But good hitters know how to attack those types of fastballs, keeping the hands above the baseball, staying level. And Devers was able to barrel it.
And this thing is barreled toward the chop house, back to back. First Devers, now Jung-Hoo Lee.
Nearly identical. Same thing. 2-seam fastball, elevated. Pretty much where he wanted to go. Maybe he wants it a little bit further away, but trying to go up, and Lee on it. Line shot out there to right field.
So Dodd retired the first 5 that he faced today, then back-to-back homers, and now it looks like he's going to get Adames on 1 pitch. But Devers and Lee with solo shots. It's 5-2. Coming into today, Dylan Dodd had only given up 2 runs and 1 homer on the season, but then on back-to-back pitches, Devers and Jung-Hoo Lee take him deep, but it's 5-2. See if the Braves offense can get going. They don't have a hit yet against Ray, and just 1 base runner.
good to see a couple of takes there from Ha-Seong Kim on pitches that are close, right? I mean, I know he's gotten off to a slow start. One of the concerns is that he starts pushing, starts expanding, pressing, right? That one, easy take for him as it missed badly. The worst thing you can do when you get into these ruts that he is in right now is that you start changing things and you're trying to force things to happen and changing that approach that has worked for him for so long.
He has been putting in tireless work with Tim Hires, hitting coach, and also just on his own in the cage, trying to figure things out and get back on the right track. Waiting a 3-1 pitch here. And called back to the plate, 3-2. And Robbie Ray comes back to get Ha-Seong Kim.
And he does end up chasing here. This fastball looked like it was outside of the strike zone. Again, it's the four-seamer that has good ride. It looks like it's sitting at the top, and it's going to be in the zone and just keeps taking off on Kim.
Robbie Ray came into today with an even 1,800 strikeouts in his career. He's got 4 so far here this afternoon.
Both times the same 2 guys, right? Yaz and Kim. And he is a guy I think there is a realistic opportunity to potentially trade here for the Giants. I know they'd love to move some of their bigger contracts. But Robbie Ray on an expiring contract right now. He signed that 5 for $115 that ends after this year. And so if they don't find themselves in contention, which seems unlikely, he'll very likely be pitching for another team.
Yeah, they're pretty far back, 29 and 43, 14 games under right now for the Giants. And Drake Baldwin falls victim to the sliders, so now 5 Ks for Robbie Ray.
You don't see it too often here for Drake. He's been so good against the lefties, but that is a good looking slider. It starts on the corner, looks like it's going to be close, ends up falling off the plate.
Robbie Ray says he can pitch without grunting, by the way. He just,
really?
Yeah, he likes it, says it kind of channels his aggression and energy on the mound and works with how he likes to throw the baseball.
Well, at least he likes it.
You're right. It makes you feel like you're watching a tennis match.
But the fact that he can control it tells you that he's thinking about it, right?
Yeah, he says it kind of all works with his release is kind of how he described it. There's the second base runner for the Braves against Ray. Olson walked in the 3rd, and now White here in the 5th.
BG, I got a question for you because I know you broadcast multiple sports. Why is it in golf and tennis when they go to serve or tee off, everybody's got to be quiet? But I got to throw a pitch and everybody can yell at me.
That's a good question, Bertie.
Yeah. I think tennis, golf, those are country club sports, right? I mean, it's a highbrow game, right? It's where you have cannoli and espresso in Italy in the offseason. This is baseball.
Now, golf, I get, it's every man for himself, right? So you don't have a home or away team. You don't have fans that can kind of take a golfer out of his rhythm.
I mean, I think what Bertie is trying to say, and I don't agree with it, but that those athletes are a little bit softer than baseball players. I think that's the conclusion that I've drawn from what you're asking.
And I think also he's saying pitchers are the toughest of all the baseball players.
I haven't seen a golfer or tennis player chewing tobacco while they're competing. So, and don't chew tobacco. It's terrible for you.
Hey, Charlie Culberson here today at the yard. Well, these days are long gone, but CJ, I know you remember when Jim Leland, who you know well, used to smoke heaters in the dugout.
I had a manager that smoked a pipe in Sparky Anderson. Kind of go down in the tunnel and light that thing up. It smelled great.
During the game?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Two balls, one strike. Matt Olson striking out in the first last night, walking in the third today. Well, if nothing else, Robbie Ray's pitch count is starting to climb a little bit here. He's at 64 pitches.
I'd love to see him throw a little cookie right here to Matt Olson that he could take into the chop house. He doesn't walk lefties very often.
And Olson drives it to center field. Gilbert back, and he's got it on the track. Matty just missed it, and it remains 5-2 San Francisco. Reynaldo Lopez will take the ball here in the 6th inning for the 17th time this season.
So you get a couple of innings out of Dylan Dodd. It feels like for Reynaldo Lopez, they'll look for much of the same if he can keep this game within reach. It's been now 11 appearances out of the bullpen for Reynaldo Lopez.
After beginning the season in the rotation, facing Casey Schmidt here. 1 ball, 1 strike.
About a half a point difference on the ERA for Reynaldo in the rotation at 3.7 compared to 4.2 as a reliever.
And Schmidt, a solid single. He's 2 for 3 in the ball game. He is having the best season of his 4-year career, and it has continued here in Atlanta.
And he does it against the four-seamer here at 93 miles an hour from Reynaldo Lopez. When he was starting and healthy a couple of years ago, we'd see that fastball tick up closer to 98 at times, right? He could reach back for a little bit more, but sitting more 95 miles an hour. And it's been, I think, part of the conversation with Reynaldo. And shoulder surgery is a tough one, and whether or not he can get that fastball back to where it was.
So tough last year for Lopez, going on the IL after just that 1 start, having that surgery on that right shoulder, and now trying to find his way again back in the bullpen, where of course he has a lot of experience, but he had worked so hard to become a starter again and had such a great 2024 in Atlanta, but hit a bump in the road last year. The runner takes off. Baldwin fires down, but a little off target, and Schmidt has a stolen base. The Giants don't run much. In fact, last in baseball with 21 steals.
The Braves are wondering whether or not there was a tag on the foot, but there was not, and so they're not going to challenge it. Talk about, you always want those throws to the first base side of second base for that reason.
Looked like he did get his foot, but I think the hand was already in there.
But this is important for Reynaldo. I think we kind of get the impression he'd like to be back in the rotation, and certainly has done some really good things for the Braves there. But how the rest of his season goes, and at least in this role, we'll see whether or not it changes. These couple of inning outings need to be good ones. You want to see him continuing to kind of get back to full strength. He still has another year left on his deal. Now the salary goes down a pretty decent margin, but the Braves have another year of control, and nothing would make them feel better going into the offseason than knowing that Ronaldo was close to being back.
And Alex Anthopoulos was very clear with us last month when he came on and talked about both Lopez and Fuentes and seeing them in the future as starters again at some point. But for now, both out of the pen. Liner, there's Matt Olson. He turned and looked at second, but Schmidt scurries back.
And that pitch will be important for Ronaldo as well. We'll talk about the velocity. He's center on 94 so far this year, but his slider was a dominant pitch for him. He started throwing the curveball a little bit more as a starter compared to the bullpen, but the slider's always been the go-to breaking ball. And this year, that batting average a little bit high against the Ronaldo Lopez slider at 273 and the OPS over 800. During that 24 season, that slider had just a 168 batting average against. The OPS was under 500. It's where he got most of his strikeouts.
Over in the gap, it'll be Yastrzemski. And Susac is 0 for 3. So a couple of sliders there that he threw to Susac, and now back to the top of the order to face Luis Arraez. Giants could have a lot of trade pieces at the deadline, as CJ was kind of mentioning, and Luis Arraez could be another one of them.
I started talking about this yesterday. He's always seemed like a guy that it's hard to get his value right, and had that opportunity in the open market this past year. It's one of those things that I think baseball people, and meaning baseball people in uniform, really appreciate who he is. Opposing pitchers don't like facing him. You don't want to face him with a runner in scoring position. You know he's going to put the ball in play somewhere. But yet, because of the lack of power, because of the talk about his defense, he doesn't see necessarily the big payday. Although his defense has been good this year.
Yeah, he slotted him well back at second base. But just a couple of homers. There, like you said, there is not much power, but boy, he'll drive an opposing pitcher crazy. Just so hard to strike out as he dances away there jokingly. 3-2.
Be interesting to see if he does get traded, if it happens to a National League team, and giving him a legitimate chance to win another batting title. He's 5th right now. He is looking up at one of his teammates in Lee, who's 2nd with a 331 batting average. Otto Lopez leading everybody at 338.
No strikeout, but certainly Lopez will take this. A fly out to Yastrzemski to send us to the home half of the 6th. Those paintings we talked about, they've got moved to Truist Park, so they're here. If you're coming to the park this week, you can check them out, take a selfie with all the guys that Braves are trying to get to Philadelphia. This is right now where the voting stands. If it ended today, Ozzie, Acuna, and Drake Baldwin would be starters.
Certainly makes some sense, except for what's happening over at first base. And I think for the Atlanta Braves, we've got to get working here for Matt Olson to get him in front of Freddie Freeman.
That Braves country flex a little bit on the Dodgers. Braves.com/vote is where you go. And remember, when you do that, you can get 20% off 4 tickets to a future Braves home game. So pretty good deal. Ozzie hit it hard, but Arise was in the right spot. .70 pitches now for Robbie Ray. Remember, he's a starter, but he began today by throwing in the second inning with the game resumed from the suspension last night.
So if he gets through this one, right, that would be 5 innings pitched for him. I mentioned he really struggled to get through 5. But so far here this afternoon, he looks good.
And just a couple of walks, no hits yet for the Braves against him. Down to Paul Bird.
No, you got it, guys. This is my pitching tip for the day. Robbie Ray does not even pick up his target. He picks it up as he's letting the baseball go, something you would never teach. He's actually looking at the grass on the infield as he's mid-delivery. You would never teach that. You would never shoot a basketball and pick up the rim as you're letting it go. But he's an anomaly. He's won a Cy Young, so you let it go. But if you're 14 years old and you're struggling with your command, remember, the longer you can look at that target, your body will figure out how to get the baseball there. That's my pitching tip, and I would love to get C.J. Nitkowski's thoughts as well.
So he's got a left-handed brain, clearly, and so I kind of get it. I kind of get the idea that if you're built this way and you're staring at something too long, that it actually kind of locks you up a little bit.
That took the glove right off his hand, and then he goes over gloveless and makes the play. It was a bullet off the bat of Dubon, but ultimately it's a 1-2-3 inning.
We're talking about being that left-handed brain. This looks a little like a left-handed play, but he does a nice job recovering to get the out and finish up the 6th inning.
Still 5-2 as we start the 7th. And Lopez back out there. Slow curve at 72.
So going back to what Bertie was talking about there, it's one of those things. I agree with him. Generally, you would not teach somebody to pitch that way. But if you have a kid that comes to you and he does that and he throws strikes, then I probably wouldn't change him either. Right? I think I've always said it about Chris Sale. When I first started seeing Chris Sale, when he broke into the league, you see that super low arm angle, a lot of elbows and knees kind of coming at you. See, if you saw a kid that was that low, you might change it. But I think that would be a mistake. So in the experiences I've had coaching with some kids, you're going to certainly see some things that are unorthodox. Now, you get a guy that doesn't throw strikes and he's picking up the target late, then yeah, it's probably time to make a change and do something a little bit more conventional. But I think especially with your goofy lefties, if it works for you, we're going to let you do it until it doesn't work for you.
Should we grunt too when we let the ball go?
If you're throwing strikes and getting outs, but I don't think so.
Bertie, I'm worried about your voice. It sounds like
you're at Rocky Patel today.
Well, I woke up sounding like Barry White, so I probably should have cut an album or two. Now I got a little more Bryan Adams in me.
Okay. And, you want to let the folks hear that, Bertie?
You want a little Cuts Like a Knife performance? I think we got to get permission. I get written permission before you use another man's song on air.
Gretchen says it's all approved.
I bet it is. Yeah, that sounds just like Gretchen.
But you feel okay, right, Bertie?
I feel great.
All right, good.
Probably just the rain and, little jet lag.
Matt Olson, get him to Philly, folks. That's an all-star first baseman over there. A Gold Glove all-star first baseman. That's also our defensive play of the game, brought to you by our friends at CarShield.
This is incredible from Matt Olson. He's got to go to his left here, right down the line. The ball's in fair territory by the time he gets there, and it's the spin and the throw. Ronaldo, good job getting over there and to be on time. Right, not a comfortable throw overhand, throws it underhand and does it perfectly. Beautiful play there from Matt Olson and Ronaldo Lopez.
You know, Val just brought us Cracker Jack. I think this might be the first game we don't have anybody to throw Cracker Jack to, CJ.
Well, I feel like our level's closed, right? There's not a single person sitting on the 300 or 400 levels.
Yep.
So I think they let everybody kind of go down and find your own seat. So
do we try to launch it down? Okay.
What a question. 100%.
I sense a complete disaster forthcoming.
I feel like it's a challenge. All depends on how you look at things. Just hopefully people will turn around. That's the big one.
And now Riley. Back to back web gems.
Beautiful thing on both sides of the infield now here for the Braves. And I got to be honest with you, when this ball was hit, I didn't think Austin Riley had a shot at it. And if it got past him, Ha-Seong Kim probably wasn't going to have enough time to throw the runner out. But full extension here from Austin Riley, and he gets up quickly and fires this baseball across the diamond. Just a beautiful play there from Austin Riley.
Excellent work at first, and now over at the hot corner at third. So 2 down, and here's Devers, who had the solo homer in the 5th.
All right, so when we get the Cracker Jack, it comes in a box. Do you know how many bags are in here?
25.
20, looks like maybe
28.
28.
Yeah.
What if we just drop the box right over here? Because there's nobody on this level, and just left it there. Just drop the whole box. There's 28 bags of Cracker Jack, and then as people start coming in for game 2, they can come get themselves one.
I think it's going to be more fun to launch it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. Hey, stay tuned for the stretch presented by Resurgence Orthopedics. Coming up here after one more out. Well, I'm really going to be tempted to try to go 2 levels down, but
You can absolutely get it there. You got to throw it like a Frisbee, I think.
I just,
If you go overhand and throw it like a baseball, it's too light. Use the aerodynamics of the Frisbee toss to get it there.
Well,
we're about to find out.
Yeah, we're about to find out. Time for the stretch.
Welcome to The Stretch, presented by Resurgence Orthopedics. From the field to everyday life, movement matters. Resurgence Orthopedics is here to help you stay strong, stay active, and stay in motion.
Welcome into The Stretch, presented by Resurgence Orthopedics. Nick Green and Peter Moylan here with you. Peter, it's been a tough week for the Braves. This last week, the offense has really scuffled. They've had trouble finding runs. The good news, last night, Drake Baldwin makes his appearance for the first time since May 18th. Comes out with a bang, another homer for him.
Well, anytime you get any member of the roster back, it's a huge boost. But when you get someone like Drake Baldwin back, we saw the effects right away last night. First swing of his campaign this year, back from the IL, and wasn't it a beautiful swing? Longest home run of his career, longest home run of the year, I think it was. Definitely the longest home run that I've seen from him. And look, this is the kind of impact that he can have instantly on a lineup. And what it does is it now lengthens that lineup. You throw him at the top, whether it's in the leadoff spot or in that second spot, and it's instant action from the get-go, and it's going to make a tough matchup for opposing pitchers.
Yeah, hopefully the Braves offense can get going a little bit in this one. They've had a lot of trouble here today against Robbie Ray. Let's see if they can come back in this one. Let's get you back to Braves baseball after a quick word from our friends at Resurgence Orthopedics.
Before the injury, I was incredibly active. Mainly had been running in preparation for the half marathon. I felt really comfortable and confident in my treatment plan from Resurgence because the treatment plan was designed specifically for me. I was able to run the half marathon. That was really special.
I gotta tell you, I'm just worried that someone is getting decked in the head with Cracker Jack here. There are a lot of people looking. Oh, that one landed. All right, one more. Whoa! Oh, get out! Oh! You almost got it down to the bottom level. I think that worked. I haven't seen any medical personnel go over to assist anyone.
I'm kind of excited about that last one. It sat right on the ledge, and a kid came over and got it. I did get one down, too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't know what happened to it because I lost sight of it, but I did see it clear the rail.
A lot of people were looking. We weren't trying to hit people. There were a lot of people happy to get their Cracker Jack down there.
A little out of breath.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a little aggressive. So Robbie Ray still has not given up a hit. Just a couple of walks today. Riley had the great defensive play. Now he bats here in the bottom of the 7th. Riley smokes it toward the corner. Gonna bounce off the wall, and he's going to cruise into second base. So Robbie Ray is human, and there is life for Atlanta's offense here in the 7th.
This was loud off the bat of Austin Riley. 111 miles an hour. He gets the Robbie Ray two-seam fastball. Remember, we told you this is not a big sinking fastball. If anything, at one stage straight, maybe even cut a little bit into the barrel there of Austin Riley. But at 92 miles an hour, he's able to turn on it.
There's some stretching going on in the Giants bullpen, but nobody is throwing right now. Challenge from
The catcher's challenging to call a ball.
From Daniel Susak back there.
I think Jordan Baker could just turn around and yell. We'd hear him. Be close here. Oh.
Call's overturned.
That's the definition of clipping the outside corner.
Wow.
So both teams still have both challenges. Two strikeouts, both looking for Yastrzemski today. Yastrzemski still very close with several of the Giants, but none more than the right fielder Jung-Hoo Lee. Those two were very good buddies, and they still talk on a regular basis. Got to catch up yesterday before the start of the series.
They were aggressive in bringing Lee over here. There were some struggles early on. He's settling in though very nicely this season.
Got a piece, and that hit the dirt, so the at-bat continues. And when they moved Lee to right field, he reached out to Yaz and called him and asked for tips about playing right field out there in San Francisco at Oracle Park, because it is not easy with that wall. It's a difficult park to play right field in.
And one Yaz, of course, played extremely well over the course of his career, but there are some intricacies to playing right field, certainly in San Francisco. We'll be there next week.
A tough day for Yastrzemski. 3 strikeouts. There's one down to the 7th.
Well, this is an example of why it made sense for the San Francisco Giants to go ahead and throw Robbie Ray in there instead of starting tonight. And there's some, look at it, it's just like an Easter egg hunt. There's Cracker Jacks everywhere. This kid's like, I got too many. I don't know what to do with them all.
So that's where all of our throws landed. Look, it's summertime at the ballpark, day game. Eat until your heart's content. 2 outs now. Back to the top of the order, and Drake Baldwin next. Susak out to the mound. Nobody's throwing. Braves do have Anthony Molina ready in the bullpen, so he figures to come in for the 8th. And just as I say that, Sam Hinches is going to start to throw right now for the Giants.
Interesting about the conversation there. If you look at Drake Baldwin this season, he has been better against left-handed pitching than the righties with that OPS over 1,000. 7 of the 13 homers against left-handed pitching, so it's not an automatic when you have the left-on-left matchup. Especially thinking about third time now that Drake Baldwin has faced Robbie Ray, and so a little extra time there. Maybe Susac was also just buying some time for the bullpen.
He struck him out on that pitch in the 5th inning. The slider that was bearing down and out. Dylan Smith has also started to throw, so double barrel action.
Well, somehow Drake Baldwin can find a way to get on. Now you're talking about the potential tying run. You have Eli White, and then it's Matt Olson, so it goes right left the next two here for the Giants.
Ball 4, but Baldwin went after that knuckle curve. First game back after 23 missed for Baldwin. Payoff pitch, swing and a miss. Knuckle curve again. So Riley with a leadoff double, but the Braves cannot bring him in. So Anthony Molina here will try to keep it 5-2 as he enters for the 8th inning.
Third time that we have seen Molina now here in a Braves uniform, and a guy who spent the first 2 years of his career at the big league level with the Colorado Rockies. Certainly happy to be out of Colorado. He's got a good fastball, sits at 97. Curveball changeup. He's thrown a couple of sliders so far this year as well.
And 94 innings with the Rockies last couple of seasons, and now here in Atlanta. He's going to get 1 pitch, 1 out. A quick message here from Kia. So Jung-Hoo Lee, who had a homer in the 5th, flies out to start the 8th.
Mentioned he had not thrown that slider much so far, just 2, and now you get back-to-back sliders here to Adames. No doubt he's going to be one of those guys that as you get out of Colorado and you see the difference on the pitches, and the slider of course was a big one for Pierce Johnson leaving Colorado and coming to Atlanta. Tyler Kinley the same thing. We may see some of that from Molina.
Slider that time, but buried in the dirt. 2-2 here to Adames. Center field, well struck. Dubon will watch it splash into Chattahoochee Falls. Adames' 12th homer of the year, and now it's a 4-run game.
Had tell you, I like the pitch. I like the idea. After 3 straight sliders, elevated fastball, it's got a little jump to it. Top of the zone, pretty much where Drake Baldwin wanted it. It's a nice piece of hitting from Willie Adames. I mean, look at the location, a 98 with ride.
They have not hit many homers on the season, the Giants, 20th in Major League Baseball, but 3 solo shots here between Devers, Jung-Hoo Lee, and Willie Adames today. Ozzie got to it. The infield has played some great defense, and Ozzie adds to it right there.
Back to the slider. This one off the end of the bat. Had a little less exit velocity than it looked, or at least it sounded like. Only 71 miles an hour, but nonetheless a great play from Ozzie.
Using that mammoth 5'7" frame to reach out there and grab it for out number 2. So game 2 of the series will start at the regularly scheduled time of 7:15. J.R. Ritchie throwing for the Braves. He was originally going to be opposed by Robbie Ray, but obviously with Robbie going here as the reliever, quote unquote, today, it's going to be Carson Whisenhunt who will get the start tonight after being called up for the Giants. It'll be just the 6th start of the career of Whisenhunt. He had 5 last year, and it'll be his season debut this evening. Two balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs here. Molina to Gilbert.
It's a good changeup. It's just out of the zone, and more frustration there that you didn't get the swing that you were looking for.
Three-2 curveball put in play. Molina will cover. A solo homer by Adames. It's 6-2 now, Giants. Toyota Trends feature the Giants 17 blown lead losses, the Braves 23 comeback wins. See if the Braves can do it again today.
Time running out here a little bit on the Atlanta Braves, but they're still going to see Robbie Ray, and love to see them put a little rally together, get Robbie Ray out of this game, and get into that Giants bullpen.
A change in the outfield. The rookie Cox out in center, really good defender, so they bring him in as a defensive replacement, move Gilbert from center to left, and Schmidt is out of the game now. Adames throws across to get Eli White. Those guys unfortunately out. Of course, Ronald can't play on the 10-day IL. Michael left the game last night with low back tightness, so he's in a day-to-day situation right now.
It's been a couple of times that they have been able to avoid IL stints here for Michael, which I think has worked out well, where you haven't lost him to the full 10 days, but he's needed a day or 2. Now we'll see how long this could potentially be. Of course, he can't come back in this game because this technically was the game that he came out of in the top of the 2nd inning. My guess is you probably give him the 2nd game too here today, give him the full day off, and reassess for tomorrow. And who knows, it might be another day off.
Matt Olson, solid single through the right side. So his first hit today.
Well, he had such a good swing in his last at bat where he nearly hit a home run to center field. This time he's gets himself a curveball. Not a bad one, it's down, but again, Matt Olson stays on the ball so well. You rarely see him pull off and get fooled really badly. And the curveball's been a good pitch. It's been a good swing and miss pitch for Robbie Ray as Devers made an attempt to tackle that baseball.
Well, they've got Smith still warming. He's the only one in the bullpen. Dylan Smith, the righty. And 94 pitches is going to be all for Ray, but he was really good for the Giants. Now they turn it over to the bullpen. Sun is shining today, and we've got a good day for baseball. For two, we're still in game one of this series. Bottom of the eighth, Robbie Ray, 6 1/3, just a couple of hits, 8 strikeouts. Now he's finally out of there, and it's on to the bullpen.
It wasn't intentional, but he almost had an opener today in the way that things worked out. One of his better outings in a long time. Dylan Smith taking over. 7 games, no runs allowed here so far, at least earned runs. And this guy had spent some time with the Detroit Tigers last year. Did not have a lot of strikeouts, but he's got a good arm. The strikeout rate has been better. His 4-seam fastball sits at 96, and he has not allowed a hit on that pitch yet this year.
But it is quite a different look going from Robbie Ray, longtime veteran, Cy Young Award winner. Now Dylan Smith, you mentioned the time with Detroit, but this is just combined between the Tigers and the Giants, his 14th big league appearance. Ozzie sends it to left. Gilbert racing over, and he's got it. In foul ground. He just moved over to left from center field this inning, and he made a nice play.
He sure did. This is a tough one, right? You have the cutout there from the outfield wall, or right there in foul territory, I should say. And this is not an easy one to navigate, right? Am I going to be into the wall, or am I going to be where there's some room? And he had himself some room, so he could then break it down. But that's a tough one, especially when you're first going out there for your first inning in left field. I mentioned no hits on the fastball. He's only allowed 1 hit all season long here so far. It came on his sweeper.
And he gets ahead of Dom Smith. No balls and 2 strikes. Matt Olson's going to go for second base, and now he's going to be able to head to third. Dom Smith with a single. So runners at the corners with Dubon coming to the plate.
It's an 0-2 fastball that caught way too much of the plate. You're not going to get away with this to Dom Smith. 96 miles an hour. Look where this pitch is. You got all kinds of room to expand the zone, try to get some chase, and you see Dom there pretty much with no leg kick, being short to the baseball. Good heads up by Matt Olson to go first to third pretty easily.
Remember that last at bat for Dubon? That's when he sent one at 100 miles per hour back to Ray, took his glove off, but Ray made the play and threw on to first. Bouncing way in front of Susac.
That's an impressive pick. The ball bounced, what, probably 4 or 5 feet in front of the plate. Catching doesn't work out. You can always be a goalie. Look at this.
Sure. Saved a run. Both runs for the Braves in the first inning last night. Dubon toward the gap, but it will hang up for Jonah Cox in center field. The Braves strand him at the corners. Well, Atlanta hosting the world's biggest soccer moments this summer. You can catch every match day moment at the Battery. Big screens, great food, ultimate watch party atmosphere. Visit batteryatl.com to see the full schedule. What's going on right now? That's live. Can we get them inside? Maybe tonight.
They're getting prepped for game 2. There was an announced crowd of over, what, 31,000 here. Of course, that was mostly last night. A few have left.
Yep, everybody that had a ticket last night could come back for game 1 today, but some people have these things called jobs. And not sure what that is.
Getting away a lot, I heard.
Yeah. This is where working from home really comes into handy.
Yeah, this would have been a good day for that guy that has the green screen behind him while he's doing his work soon, but he's really at the ballpark.
Then a foul ball smokes him on the shoulder as he's taking a call from his boss. Riley on one sharp bounce. A couple of good efforts over there from Austin Riley defensively today.
It's hit pretty hard here. You got that high hop coming off the dirt. Austin Riley corrals it, and another good throw over to Matt Olson, making it look easy.
Hey, on a positive note, the Phillies are losing 12-4 in the ninth right now against the Fish. So Phillies 7 games back. Looks like it'll stay that way, and then the Braves will have a chance to gain a little ground tonight.
That building in center field, that's the Henry right there, right? That they're building out there?
That hotel, yes.
Oh, it's a hotel? I thought they were apartments.
Okay, maybe I was misinformed. I think hotel.
Oh, it is. All right,
yeah.
so that's not the Henry then, or it is?
I think it is going to be called the Henry.
Oh, I thought that was apartments when they put that press release out either last year or 2 years ago.
Gretchen, is it called the Henry? Wait.
She seems super excited we brought that.
I actually wish sometimes that we could put Gretchen's mic on air. There's a strike, 3-2. She just goes, okay, stand by. Like, you guys really, you're going to make me do this right now?
Anyway, it looks cool. We're seeing a lot of development now. Of course, it's always great to come down here to the Battery, and it's getting even better.
And Luis Arraez with a 3-hit game. Here's a quick message from Alpha Insurance.
No matter what life throws your way, we'll be there knocking it out of the park, getting you home safe and sound. That's life with Alpha Insurance.
That's one way to stay cool. It is called the Henry. It is apartments, condos, and a hotel all in one.
Everybody wins. There's going to be at least 640 apartments, 250 rooms for the hotel, and 54 condominiums.
Named after Henry Hank Aaron. We got there. We landed the plane.
Yeah. See?
There was just some turbulence on the descent.
You can't live there. You can visit there, but you can't live there.
You mean Hank Aaron Terrace?
Correct.
Yeah. The Henry you can live in.
You got to be careful here with Eldridge when you're behind in the count and not just throw something over the middle. We know he's got tremendous power.
High bouncer, and unfortunate with Olson playing even with a bag. So now they are at the corners.
And kind of what you're hoping for, again, when you're dealing with a hitter that's got power, can get the baseball in the air, that if you can find a way to keep it on the ground, and Molina did that, but it was straight into the ground. And a little bit of a different feel here this afternoon in this ballpark and the surface compared to where we were less than 24 hours ago when it was raining and it was soft, and even the ball that was hit to Austin Riley looked like it was a little bit dry and firm out there. And look at Matty Olson get up.
He did all that he could, but a single for Eldridge, and now here's Chapman as the Giants try to add to this 6-2 lead.
By the way, at the Henry, they're going to have golf simulators and pickleball courts to go along with the rooftop pool.
And Molina going to second. Good scoop by Ozzie Albies. Another run will come home, 7-2.
tough play here for Molina. You're thinking about the runner, and he may have had time to spin and throw, but I think he thought, do I have a chance to get a double play? Now, with that throw in the dirt, and obviously did a nice job picking it, at that point, it's not going to happen.
The more you talk, the more I may need to look into living at the Henry. Right here.
Yeah, I mean, you got
a
pedestrian bridge that's going to give you direct access to the booth. No, to the battery.
My place is still flooded. I haven't been in there since January, so might as well just head right over.
It's flood free. You're getting closer, right? You're getting closer to getting back a little bit.
We're almost there. Supposedly a couple more weeks. We'll see. He got the souvenir and he's removed the tarp. Good day. Devers a solo homer back in the 5th. That was followed by a Lee homer. That made it 5-2 at the time. Now 7-2 here in the 9th. Pretty deep out to center, but Dubon's got plenty of real estate. Riley will lead it off in the bottom of the 9th with the Braves looking for a crooked number. (7-2) bottom of the 9th. So the Braves just a couple of runs, but the defense has been awesome. Going back to last night, our Zaxby's who's got the sauce? Everybody on the Braves defense.
Yeah, that play that we saw last night in center field from Mauricio Dubon, incredible. Was he in left at the time when he made that one? I can't remember now. Either way, it was an amazing play. Left field at the time. That's right. That ball that he dove for. Then what we've seen here this afternoon in the infield, especially some really nice plays. And while the bats have been down, the gloves have not, and they continue to do an excellent job. It has been a good defensive season all year long.
Braves are looking for a big rally, starting with Riley, who did double his last time up in the 7th.
You're looking for a big comeback. You're also looking for some momentum right into game 2 and some good at-bats here in the 9th inning.
Dylan Smith stays in. After this game, we will have post game, and then starting tonight at 6:30, it'll be just like normal for game 2 of the series. We'll go on the air at 6:30 with a pregame show. First pitch at 7:15 between the Braves and the Giants. We're probably going to have a good 3 hours here in between, partner.
I see a nap in my future.
Ooh. That's a thought.
Yeah.
You certainly have the real estate up here in the booth. Sweeper, swing and a miss for Riley, 1 down. Yeah, I should have brought my Snuggie and a little blanket.
Yeah, it might be a car nap for me. We'll see.
Oh. You're in the orange parking deck, fully reclined in the driver's seat.
It might happen.
And I love it. Yaz, 3 strikeouts and now down here 0-2. Somebody's got his rally hat on. Another 97-mile-per-hour heater from Dylan Smith, 1-2.
It's a good fastball. It's got some good life. It's got some good velocity. Clearly not afraid to use it and throw it inside the strike zone.
Yaz puts it in play, and he drops it in for a single to right. So after a tough start to the day, good finish there for Yastrzemski.
Take a look at the sweeper here. Now, when you look at the arm angle and what you're seeing right now here from Smith, it's kind of hard to throw a true sweeper where you're getting that horizontal movement, almost acting more like a curveball.
And he hit it out to his good friend Jung-Hoo Lee, but Lee couldn't make the catch, and now here's Ha-Seong Kim. Oh, challenge this. They're going to lose this one.
Catcher's challenging to call a ball.
Not a bad idea, right? When you have both of your challenges, you're into the 9th inning. But we knew it right away.
Braves still have both. The little silver lining is that the Braves do have all their high leverage relievers ready for game 2. Karinchak, Dodd, Lopez, and Molina through today.
Jared Ritchie coming off a really nice outing against the New York Mets. Unfortunate circumstances when he followed Spencer Strider, who left the game due to injury. It was 5 shutout innings. He looked really good. I mentioned how he gets the start and the bullpen being in a good place.
Well, hold the phone here. Not done yet. Now the shirts are starting to come off. Caleb Killian is warming in the bullpen. We'll see if this is going to be it for Smith. Right now it's just a big therapy session. And it will be Killian that's coming in. We'll be back in a moment. So Smith couldn't finish the job. Caleb Killian is going to come in here 31st time this year, and he's going to face the top of the order in Drake Baldwin.
You can see the overall numbers. Pretty good strikeout rate there at 28% here for Killian, and ERA respectable. 5 home runs, though, over his 31 2/3. Big fastball sits at 97. Knuckle curveball, slider. He's got a 2-seamer that he uses once in a while as well, and it's been very good against both lefties and righties. But all 5 of those home runs have come off the bats of right-handed hitters.
So the 9th inning has been a big question mark for the Giants all year long. They were kind of going closer by committee, but on Friday, Tony Vitello did say that Killian was now his closer. So he's bringing him in here in a 7-2 game to try to get the final couple of outs. Giants looking for their 30th win of the season.
So Killian had some time with the Cubs over 3 years, from 22 to 24, but he never pitched in more than 3 games. And they were all starts for him. Not all of them, I should say, but 5 of the 8 games that he pitched in were starts. And now settling in the bullpen here with 30 games pitched.
1-1 to Baldwin. And now 1-2. After that time with the Cubs, he ran into injury issues, missed most of the 24 season and the 25 season. First it was a shoulder issue, then a lat strain, but he's been healthy this year. And He fires 96 into Drake Baldwin. It's fouled away.
A lot of things you look for when you're looking at a fastball. You hear us talk about some of the different numbers, but something that's really important, you're going to see a nice play, it looks like over here, is the swing and miss rate on the fastball. It's kind of low for him for having such a firm fastball that averages 97 miles an hour, but the whiff rate is below league average.
It's a knuckle curve that gets Baldwin for the second out.
Three punch outs today for Drake Baldwin, one on a slider and now two here on curveballs, and that's a good one. That one going straight down and very similar to the curveball he saw from Robbie Ray, even though it was from the left side when he struck out in his last at bat. You can probably make some sense with Drake Baldwin that you go north to south because he can cover east to west very well.
Eli White will try to find a way to extend this game. Only 2 runs for the Braves came in the first inning. Of course, that was the portion of the game that was played last night. They've been held scoreless today. 0-2 pitch and a swing and a miss, and the ball game is over. The Giants take game 1 of the series 7-2.
A tough one here for the Braves that started yesterday, and again we mentioned it, once the suspension happened and you picked the game up in the second inning, the idea that the Giants would go with Robbie Ray toward a lineup that was set to face right-handed pitching, it really did work to their advantage. There was a couple of spots in the lineup that it seemed like they took advantage of here in this one, and the Braves could never quite get right offensively.
Post-game show is coming up, and then a reminder later it will be normal for our broadcast. We'll go on the air at 6:30 with a pregame show for game 2 of the series, and first pitch will be at 7:15. So bottom line, a lot coming up on Braves Vision. Keep it locked right here on our portion. We appreciate you tuning in for game 1. For Paul Burt, for CJ Nitkowski, and the rest, I'm Brandon Gaudin signing off for now and saying so long, everybody.
He's a really good hitter. You miss middle of the plate, and these guys can take you deep. And Jung-Hoo Lee has been really, really good for this San Francisco Giants team in general. I looked at the numbers too, Peter, and you think about this Giants team on paper, they have a lot of good offensive pieces. For sure. They have been struggling to score runs as well. And the home run ball wasn't there early, but so far, since the month of May, they've been one of the best home run hitting teams in the league.
And the third one again today with Willy Adames at the back end of this game. This is what they signed them for. There's the names in this lineup are supposed to be able to put up numbers like they did today, and unfortunately it's been some inconsistencies for those guys this year, but they showed up today for sure.
Yeah, so the Giants coming in had lost 4 of 6, 3 runs or less in 6 of their last 8 games. They scored 7 in game 1 to beat the Braves by a score of 7-2. We have plenty more baseball for you later on this evening. The Braves do fall in game 1 7-2. They dropped to 46 and 26 on the season. We'll have more after the break.